Bayley has just made her long-awaited WWE return, and she's not alone. So we'll take a look at what's the latest there. We'll also check out what's going on with Becky Lynch, Triple H's big changes, and much more. Let's start things off with Bayley's return. Bayley went down in July 2021 with a torn ACL, right in the heart of a feud with Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And ever since Bayley went down and Bianca Belair became champion again, one of the most popular fan theories was that Bayley would make her return against Bianca Belair to pick back up where she left off at, a title feud with Bianca Belair. Fans thought Bayley's return would happen immediately after WrestleMania 38, and that idea did make sense. Bianca defeated Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, thought everything was settled, and then Bayley would appear right away to confront her. WWE didn't do that after WrestleMania 38. But that's basically still the same idea and concept that they ended up going with for Bayley's Summerslam return after all. Bianca Belair defeats Becky Lynch at SummerSlam 2022, redeems herself for the Summer 2021 loss, but instantly comes face to face with a new familiar face, and some new faces to the main roster. Bayley made her triumphant return down the SummerSlam ramp to confront Bianca Belair. And fans would have been happy enough with Bayley's return, but they decided to give us even more of a surprise. Bayley also brought out Dakota Kai and Iyo Sky. Not only was Bayley an unexpected surprise, but her two friends were also a major surprise. Dakota Kai was shockingly released from WWE back in April 2022. It was such a shock because you're talking about a former two-time NXT Women's Champion. Someone that was so heavily involved with some major storylines over the last few years in NXT. Everyone just assumed she'll have a big future ahead of herself on the main roster. But April came along and her release was one that shattered hearts and was a shock. Iyo Sky had a lot of recent success in NXT, but the recent rumor was that she was in a limbo sort of state in WWE and was considering a return to Japan to continue her career there. So you had one superstar who was let go several months ago, and another superstar who was on her way out the door. But WWE was able to get them back for this new stable with Bayley. The interesting new reports about Bayley's new stable is that apparently this isn't a new idea at all. Pitches for this exact Bayley stable has been around for months, but reportedly every time the idea would come around, Vince McMahon would fully reject it. So with Vince McMahon now out of the picture, it looks like the pitch was probably brought back up to Triple H, and he went through with the idea and approved it. So everyone is saying this is one of the first few creative splashes that Triple H was looking to make at SummerSlam. Not only do you bring Bayley back, you also bring back two superstars who everyone thought was fully finished in WWE. So it ends up being triple the surprise. So the only reason why we're seeing this trio is because of Triple H being in power. Reports say that if Vince McMahon still had the power, we would have never saw this stable together. Dakota probably would have stayed gone and Sky would have still been on her way out of the company. But they were able to keep everything together and add some major needed depth to the women's division. Some fans are talking about how Bayley's group is giving them serious Absolution vibes as well. Paige made a surprise return in 2017, and she didn't come back alone either. She brought Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville with her to Raw. The group had a lot of potential at the start, but we never truly got to see Absolution's full potential because Paige would end up going down with a serious injury just a few months later. So you can understand the comparisons to Absolution because there's one strong veteran leader surrounded by two great NXT talents. That was the case in both Paige and Bayley's groups, but things definitely just got a lot more interesting. Bayley hasn't forgotten about Bianca Belair over the last full year of recovery, and wants to continue her mission to dethrone Bianca Belair. Of course, Bayley's return is going to introduce a lot of conflict for superstars like Alexa Bliss as well. Alexa already stated she wanted the winner of Bianca versus Becky, but here came Bayley to skip that line. Alexa should definitely have a problem with that. Assuming Bayley's stable will work similar to what we usually see from trios, Maybe Bayley focuses in on the Raw Women's title with Sky, and Dakota focuses on the women's tag team titles. Only issue there is that the women's tag team titles haven't seen any light since May. So you do have to wonder if Bayley's group will help us see things like the return of the women's tag team division and tag team titles. But Bayley's stable is exciting and does breathe a lot of fresh air into the Raw women's division. Everyone saw how successful Toxic Attraction was in NXT, so maybe Bayley's stable could have that same level of success. Speaking of Triple H changes, that brings us to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair had this complete full circle storyline that completed at SummerSlam 2022. At SummerSlam 2021, Becky made a surprise return, shocks Bianca Belair by cheating, and takes the SmackDown Women's title from her in 26 seconds. The Man era Becky Lynch's character appeared to be gone, and we were introduced to her big-time Bex era. The theme during the era of the Man was about Becky's struggles and climb to the top of the WWE mountain while being an underdog. The theme of the big-time era told the story of what Becky Lynch had turned into after being on the top of the mountain for 3 years. You can say that being at the top for so long corrupted Becky Lynch, because she obviously wasn't the same person she was before she left in 2020. And then after WrestleMania 38, we see Becky fall from the top of the mountain. She was desperate, she was losing all these big matches by close calls, and was just a complete downfall. Then, leading towards SummerSlam, she started picking herself back up again, until she became #1 contender for Bianca Belair's title. Becky was her usual cocky self heading into the match, and promised to embarrass Bianca again. But after Bianca defeated her again fair and square, Becky's character had a full 180 moment and turned babyface. Becky shook Bianca's hand after the match. A callback to SummerSlam 2021, but the only difference is that Becky didn't cheap shot Bianca this time around. It was a legitimate handshake. Then when Bayley came out with her trio to surround Bianca, Becky Lynch came to the aid of Bianca, once again proving that babyface change in her character. Reports claim that Becky's babyface turn was another instant Triple H change. Vince McMahon reportedly had no plans to turn Becky babyface. She was going to remain a heel, but Triple H went in there and turned that around right away. So it's nice to see that Triple H isn't shying away from making big changes, or going with slow changes. He's right in there and completely turning everything upside down from Vince's vision. Vince McMahon rejected the Bayley stable and wanted to keep Becky Lynch as a heel. Triple H came right in and did the exact opposite of what Vince wanted, and so far, so good. Everyone appears to like both those major changes that kicked off at SummerSlam. So now it'll be great to see a return of a heel Bayley, a babyface Becky Lynch for the first time since 2020, and see where Alexa Bliss fits into this whole equation as well. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.